Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video and another episode here today of my F1 2019 career mode with Williams as we arrive here for round 5 for the Spanish Grand Prix and the start of the European season. If you guys missed the last race at Baku round 4, then go watch the episode guys. It'll be linked in the top right hand corner of your screen and also down below in the description along with the full playlist link to every single episode of this series so far. Now for this race we are back up to 110% AI. Also on screen you can see the weather conditions, no chance of rain, which is good, a nice dry weekend. The bad news is our upgrade on the front wing has actually failed on the aerodynamic side of things, which is a little bit of a shame, but hopefully we can still repurchase it at the end of the episode and add that on for the next race in Monaco. In terms of R&D, you can see we're still a way away from the next car, the nearest car, which in this case is still the Alfa Romeo, and we've got a lot of work to do to try and catch those guys, and hopefully we can do that very soon. But for now we're going to focus on the weekend in hand, and for this one, like I said, we're doing 110% AI around this race here at Spain. We did 108 for the last 3 races because they were quite strong tracks with AI, but for here we're back to 110, and I was debating to go 109 because Kubica looked pretty quick over the weekend, but in the end I made a decision to stick with it because I actually did a pretty good qualifying simulation lap and we was pretty close to him, so I thought, you know what, we're going to try and do our best. You can see on screen a moment ago we did most of the programs and actually did 315 I believe out of a possible 325 points, so overall a positive session and an encouraging one. The car actually felt pretty good around here, even for the Williams the grip was pretty good, there wasn't much understeer and the car felt pretty consistent, which is good. My only concern around here is going to be some tyre overheating and some possible tyre wear because we know our car is quite bad for that, and adding the fact that Spain is naturally quite a tyre wear heavy track and also quite aggressive on tyre temperatures and quite abrasive, it could be a tricky weekend for us. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty confident and I think we can have a good weekend and do a good session here in qualifying. And as usual, the target is to out-qualify that man right there, Robert Kubica, my teammate once again in the Williams. Just try and outperform in qualifying, and that would be I think 4 against 1 for us this season if we pull it off here today. If he pulls one back, then it'll be 3-2, so pretty close if it goes that way. But yeah, overall the start of the European season, I'm looking forward to it. This is when the upgrades start to really come in, and also these tracks now are ones that suit me. This one, Monaco, Canada, Austria, Silverstone, all good tracks for me and tracks I'm looking forward to. So we're going to jump into it here and we're going to see how we get on in Q1. We're going to go for 2 runs in this session as we normally do because it seems to work out best for us, and there's no point doing a 3rd run because I like to keep a set of tyres if I can, and I feel like I can get the maximum out of the car with just 2 runs. But as you can see here on my first lap, a little bit of traffic in the form of the racing point of Lance Stroll, which was not very good at all and actually cost me quite a bit of time, and I was following him the whole lap as well, which was quite annoying, and he got out of the way in the worst possible place up towards turn 9. Eventually though we would push on and try to finish the lap time. Currently Lewis Hamilton setting the pace with the 1:17 there, and can we get anywhere near that in this Williams? Probably not, but let's see if we can try and set a good lap nonetheless as we go through the final chicane. And now on the power, flat out to the line. Let's see what this first lap is as we open up DRS, and across the line is a 19.5 from us as an opener, which isn't too bad. We actually go P17 there and above Kubica as well, which is quite surprising. So a good opening lap, but I knew there was more pace in it, especially with the traffic and the mistake that we had with Kubica there, sorry, with Lance Stroll hitting us in turn 9. But yeah, overall this was my best lap of the session with 10 seconds to go, so let's stay on board now for the entirety of the lap. Throwing the car into turns 1 and 2, and they're trying to get the power down now, 2 intervals, turn 3. Trying to focus on your exit out of here if possible as we get on the power nice and early. And the sector 1 pretty good as we just improved by a fraction as we now brake for turn 4. Trying to keep a nice tight line here and open up the car on the exit and get the power down as we now go down the hill for turn 5 and actually go down all the way to 1st gear to get some rotation on the front end here as we get a good exit, nice bit of traction in there. And now down the hill towards the next left-right combo, look like up on the front left, but we don't really lose much time. Get a beautiful smooth run through there as we now go through turn 9. How much commitment? Not too bad, holding it in 6th gear, a little bit wide on the exit actually, and losing a bit of time there, a little bit too wide, just touching the gravel as we now brake at the 100 metre board for turn 10 at the hairpin, getting this slow down beautifully as we smoothly get on the power over the bump, and then trying to keep a nice tight line for the next right as we're pretty much a quarter of a second up after 2 sectors, and now on the power briefly as we now go on the brakes once again for this little kind of dip right-hander with a little bit of a bump in the middle, and then into a left-right chicane combo here, and then into the final corner on the power, flat out to the line. Overall, decent lap. We improved by nearly 3/10, and a pretty good second lap to be honest. As we're currently P19, and do we improve at all, or do we go down to P20? And the answer is no, we do not. We stay where we were. And we improve, and we're actually qualified Kubica quite comfortably there, and was only a couple of tenths off of Giovinazzi. So overall a positive session, and actually pretty close to the Alfa Romeo, to be fair. which was good. Daniel Ricciardo, the shock elimination there in the Renault in P16. Quite surprising to see him out of qualifying so early. But overall, from my point of view, a good session. The maximum we could have got out of the car on 110% AI. And yeah, Spain's one of those tracks that just showcases, how good or bad your car truly is. And that's where we are at the moment. But guys, overall, a decent session. We're now going to move into the race for round 5 for the Spanish Grand Prix. And let's try our best to turn this around on Sunday. Let's get into the racing.
Good afternoon from a very familiar setting. It's race day here in Spain, and with everything still to play for in the championship battle, there's no room for mistakes in a Grand Prix that's well known for creating them. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about Martinez. They're still relatively new to a sport which does have a high learning curve and, of course, little tolerance for mistakes.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience, but some of these guys in Formula 1 have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Vettel, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Gasly, Magnussen, Grosjean, Raikkonen and Alexander Albon, Perez, Norris, Nico Hülkenberg and Sainz, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Lance Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi. Martinez and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, so here we are then on the grid for round 5 for the Spanish Grand Prix. And overall, a decent qualifying. We did the best we could, and we're going to try and do better in the race here today. I think the race pace will be better. We're going to avoid the soft tyres in the entirety, which is good because the softs do overheat around here. The mediums and the hards are going to be better race tyres, especially the medium, I think, is going to be a strong race tyre. And overall, I do feel relatively confident that if I can overtake a car, I can probably stay in front, which is good. But we have to, of course, overtake them. And hopefully we do get a few two-stoppers here today. I'm pretty sure even if you start on a fresh soft tyre, you're going to have to run a two-stopper. So we might actually see some two-stops here today for the first time this season, which is something we don't really see that much. So yeah, we're going to say we get a ton of fuel-wise. I'm going to run a little bit more than usual. I'm actually running 1.2 laps of fuel extra because I think we're going to need it on the straights to attack and defend. So yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to it. And I think there could be a chance of points here today. I really do. I think this might be my best chance since Australia. And it'd be good to score some points going into Monaco as well. But let's take it one race at a time. Let's jump into it though. Let's get into the race and let's see how we get on in the Spanish Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's try and get a good start here. Get the revs into the optimal range as the 5 lights come on. Lights out and away we go. Pretty good start. Pretty much matching every single car around us at the minute. Robert's going to get to the inside though, and he's going to get a better run down towards turn 1. We're going to try and use the outside. Is there any space here? Yes, we do. Inside for turn 2. There we go. Good start up to P17. Using the outside one, a bit of space at turn 1. And then the inside for turn 2. Lance Stroll, though, getting a good exit behind me. I'm going to have to go defensive just to cover the inside. I can't go too late on the brakes though as Ricciardo turns in the Renault. I still can't believe he qualified. I got knocked out in Q1, sorry. I thought about a lunge there. I was tempted. Or we'll just sit back for now. Maybe I can make some more moves later on. But P17, that's a good start. At the minute, everyone in front of me I can tell was on medium, so this is going to be for position. But let's see if we have pace here today to hang in there. Better than Baku, that'd be great if possible. Nice run through turn 9, but Stroll does get the exit. I'm going to hope he doesn't send one on the brakes, and he doesn't. And we can just stay in front, taking a wider line than Ricciardo at the hairpin. Just hoping that AI can have some battles, and that's my chance to make some moves happen, to be honest. That's going to be the window of opportunity as that point draws to a close. We've made up 2 places, so overall successful opening lap. Let's see if we have the pace though to follow all these cars in front and stay competitive in this race.
Power from the engine is going to be down slightly. It's showing some minor wear.
Yep, the engine is starting to feel some wear now. We're on our 5th race with this power unit and we haven't done any major durability upgrades. All we've done is a general wear and also the gearbox, so the engine will start to feel it. But it should be good enough for this race and also Monaco. Monaco isn't an engine performance heavy circuit. Canada will be a tricky one though. We're going to have to invest in durability soon though.
Okay, entering lap 3 now. DRS has been enabled.
Right, DRS enabled. We're a little bit far back from Ricardo here. So we are going to miss out in principle. That was actually a good lap for me. I actually pulled away from Stroll. So let's see if we can try and shake him off this lap and get over a second gap to the racing point. That would be ideal if possible. Good pace, personal best. We've got a nice gap to Stroll. We're not really under pressure on the straight. And Stroll actually might be under pressure from Giovinazzi. I'm hoping there's some battles that start to happen in front of us with DRS that will get us back into DRS range, because I'm actually matching Ricardo's pace now. Now that the race is kind of a few laps in and things have kind of stabilised a bit, I'm pretty much the same pace as him. I just need to get within DRS as I can't close in. I've just looked, and even with that upgrade, my gearbox 59% wear. Got to be careful with that. That's okay for now, but that's going to affect us in the next race. So I've got to keep an eye on that. Okay, that was a bit of a poor lap from me. Here comes Stroll. He's going to have to run. We're going to have to go defensive. Cover the inside, but he's got too much momentum, I think. And he just gets me on the brakes. Or not even on the brakes. He already managed to get in front before the corner. I wonder if I can follow him. That would be ideal. We could use the DRS on the straight to improve our pace. Okay, this is better. Stroll has good pace. So it's definitely worth following him. And I can stay at the perfect range where I can save ERS and stay competitive for later on in the stint. This is what we need. Really frustrating. It seems like there's literally 0 battles happening in front of us. They're really bunching up, but they're still yet to do any side-by-side action that I can see. So it's frustrating, but hopefully they do start to battle heavily and lose time, because that's our window of opportunity to score some points here today. If we want to score points, which of course is unlikely, but if we do, then that's our opportunity. I'm barely hanging on to Stroll's DRS here. He's really pushing this lap and picking up the pace. We have to respond as we match our personal best. But Stroll's really getting on with it now. I'm pushing hard. Okay, personal best 23.1. We're still pushing here, trying to follow Stroll. Just not making any progress. No overtakes are happening. A really frustrating race so far. I was hoping for something to happen by now. Stroll's dropped me out of DRS range. So I need a big end to the lap, a big final sector to get back within range. I can't lose DRS, I want to stay in this race, and we need to stay within a second of the racing point. Yeah, I've lost it. I can't get back in. Damn it. I matched my personal best as well. There's no more pace I can give. I'm on the limit. I'm going to have to burn some rich mix on this lap to try and get back in. There we go, I managed to get back within range. Had to really work hard that lap and really push.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
But we did it. Job done.
We're going to box this lap. Push hard on the in-lap.
It does seem like, again, the glitch of not being in Q2 and the AI starting on the harder rubber. So again, we've got no soft tyre runners and everyone's going for the one stop again. So the best we can hope for this race, unfortunately, is going to be P17, I think. Really frustrating. But until we start getting to Q2, this glitch is going to continue to happen, so I can't do much about it. Okay, we're going to pit in this lap. Try and push to get as close to Stroll as possible. I think we can overtake him in the pit lane. I think that's possible. With the Williams boys doing a good stop through the chicane. Okay, Stroll stays out, so I'm going to pit in and undercut him. Here we go then to the pit lane. Get it all slowed down. There we go, that's a good entry. Right then, now we need a good stop from the boys. Lots of cars in the pit lane, and hopefully we can get some undercuts going. It's a shame we're not involved in this pack. We're just a little bit short of these guys in this big scrap. We're going to hold on that Toro Rosso though. Kvyat, an absolute treat.
Go, go, go.
There we go, 2.4. Not the best stop, but still we get away.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Up to speed. I was burning up the rubber there, burning up the rears on the exit. Trying to get some temperature in them. Right then, let's have a good out lap, and we could challenge Stroll hopefully on the undercut.
Robert is in the pits. Robert in the pits.
Right then, let's give everything on the straight, turn the engine up, rich mix and overtake mode engaged. We've got a few cars actually in the pit lane, even a McLaren leaving. There's Stroll, it's going to be close. He does stay in front, but he's going to be on the cold rubber. We're going to be all over the back of him on nice warm tyres. He's going to get the grip though through 3, unfortunately. I'm going to get a lot of dirty air. Good thing is, it seems like the cars in front are a bit closer, which is good. So we could potentially have a bit of a battle on our hands here, and hopefully this time we don't lose contact with those faster cars. But the undercut didn't quite work out, unfortunately. To be fair, the pace isn't great on this tyre. We're actually not that much quicker. Well, we're not quicker at all, to be honest, compared to the soft tyre. Or the medium, should I say. This hard tyre just doesn't have the pace at the minute. Hopefully it'll come into the race later on when the fuel burns off. But for now, again, task is simple. Don't drop out of Stroll's DRS, because the cars in front are battling. There we go, finally a personal best, better pace from us. Again, not really catching the cars in front, we're lacking a little bit, but hopefully they battle. I've got some pace now. Do I fancy, getting past Stroll? I've got to start thinking about it. I'm starting to show some pace, and the possibility of overtaking Stroll is becoming a real thing. And there's that massive train of cars in front, but they're just not battling. It's so annoying. They're just following each other. Okay, it's finally happening. Someone's going slow in front. There's a battle going on this lap, and they're losing time. So we're finally going to get the chance to make something happen in this race. I've been waiting for so long. I think it might be a Renault. That was a bit of a poor lap from me as well. Really bad timing. That was not the time for a bad lap. And Stroll's got DRS. You can see how he just walked away on the straight there. But it's 3 wide into turn 1. This could get tasty. Looks like it's a Renault, the one that's in front of Stroll. Or it could be that's a Haas actually. Here we go though, this could get very, very tasty now.
Right, some information on Grosjean. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Okay, that's definitely Grosjean then in front of Lance Stroll, without a doubt. Let's just stay within range. I wonder if we can make the pass over the hill. A little bit of understeer there, dirty air kicking in big time. Stroll runs deep. Grosjean on the inside, they're side by side here. A little bit of contact there with the Frenchman. I had a look around the outside, but no way through there. I need to make this overtake. I don't want to lose contact with Stroll. I'm going to lose a chunk of time though through here, following the Haas. If I can just get a good exit. There we go, blast it, squeeze it over the chicane curb. Oh, understeer, man. I'm boxed in here. I've got nowhere to go. I've got a really bad exit.
To run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
That was a terrible exit out the front of the corner. I got boxed in. The dirty air pushed me to the outside of Grosjean, and then I got boxed in behind. Luckily for me, I don't think I got any damage. No, I didn't. Stroll's not too far away. I'm going to have to push on a little bit this lap and give it some to stay within range of the racing point. But we're now to P17. Potential for P16 if we get past Stroll. Okay, job done. I'll stay within range. Personal best on that lap. Pushed hard, but I did it. And we've stuck with Lance Stroll. Now we've got to hope for more battles in front of us, just up the road. A little bit of debris there at turn 1, I just saw on the racetrack. I'm on the limit here. Stroll's just broken the 1 second barrier. I still had the DRS though on that back straight. I'm on for a personal best. I'm literally on the limit. I'm not even using low DRS anymore. I'm just keeping it medium because I have to stay on the pace. We're catching up though to this train of cars. Someone's going slow, I think. Oh, this has been a massive battle, one or the other, but either way, we're catching up and we're making progress here. I've just got to stay within DRS as long as I can. I really do. That was a good lap from me though. Oh, Verstappen's out. Again, Verstappen retires. This could be interesting. There's still time for a safety car or a VSC as the battle begins in front of Lance Stroll. Oh my god, that's kicked off there big time. Debris just went flying off one of the cars. Here's Ricciardo. Around the outside of Stroll here, we're going to use Ricciardo, who's going slow as a way to get past, but Stroll puts a squeeze on us. He's having none of it. Onto the gravel we go. And now Giovinazzi's caught back up again. I'm going to back off here early. I want to try and get the momentum, but I get so much understeer.
Again, so I expect they fix whatever the problem was.
Ricardo locks up. I'm going to try and go around the outside of the hairpin here with the extra grip we have. Can we get it on Ricardo? Around the outside. Come on. Yes. Aggressive move. A bit scruffy, but we had to get past straight away to not lose DRS on Stroll. That's important for us. There we go, we stayed within, that's good, that's what we're talking about. Let's give it someone this straight. As Ricardo pits in, he can't continue with that front wing damage. Up to P15 now, making good progress. Right then, let's see what happens here. For the chicane, on the power nice and early. Oh, I got some oversteer there, I had to get off the gas. That's not going to help me. That Toro Rosso is going to pull away now. This battle is going to be interesting. There goes Stroll. We've seen how fast he is all race. And McLaren stays in front. That racing point is something else in the straights. It really is. Even Perez actually managed to re-challenge the Toro Rosso in front. I think Perez has wing damage because he's losing in the corners. Oh, big bit of oversteer there. Had to catch that. May not be for the points, but it's a bloody good scrap. We're just outside the top 10. Perez getting overtaken around the outside of the hairpin. Just have too much drag and lack of straight line speed. It's really starting to hurt me now. And so the racing points now going to stack up one by one. Stroll is going to get ridiculous overspeed on the pit straight here as he overtakes Perez. You watch, because Perez has got good straight line speed to start off with anyway. I'm going to try and set up a good exit, but it's going to mean absolutely nothing.
Looks like you're running on some slightly worn rubber at this point. You should still have a fair amount of grip left, but be mindful, it's going to start falling away.
I've got to be careful with Giovinazzi behind us, who's actually catching me here. I've got to use the tow from the cars in front. I've got to go defensive. Stroll runs in hot. That's going to cost everybody time, but he does get the move done on Perez. I'm going to go for the switchback here on Perez. He runs wide through 3. There we go. We're going to go down the inside.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
There we go, lock up on the front right, get onto the marbles, but we get through. And Giovinazzi follows me. So we're up to P14 now. Can we catch back up to Stroll one more time and this time actually put a pass on him? There we go, back within Stroll's DRS. I was 1.2 behind in the middle sector, but we made up for time.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
I think I've got enough here to make a pass on Stroll. I've just got to make sure I'm very close at the final corner and I should be able to take him on the pit straight. Personal best, 22.4. Stroll's picked up the pace on that last lap. He's responded. I'm trying to close him down. Another good lap there, 22.2. We're really going for this, but Stroll's also responding. Everyone's pushing now. The AI always goes flat out.
They fixed whatever the problem was. They're coming back up to speed.
That's probably Perez or someone else either way. The AI always pick up the pace in the closing stages, and I'm already on the limit. I don't really have much more to give, so it might turn into a defense now to keep Giovinazzi behind rather than attack Stroll, because I'm really struggling to make any inroads on him. Okay, for the first time I don't have DRS on the pit straight. Lewis Hamilton is coming around the final corner now. He's pretty close. You can just see his dot on the mini-map. He could be on the back of us this lap, and we might have to let him go as Lewis begins his last lap of the race. I've given up on Stroll now. It's about defending this position. I wonder if I could tactically push Gio. Lewis is right behind us. I wonder if I can back him into Lewis a bit and get a blue flag out. This is Lewis' last lap of the race as we get some oversteer. There goes Giovinazzi, blue flag. Gio on the outside, I'm on the inside. I'm going to put the squeeze on him. And Lewis goes through. Let's let him go by. Make this the last lap of the race. And end the pain. Oh, actually, it's actually Bottas who's leading. So it looks like Bottas is going to win the race as we get lapped. There we go. Tactical back up into Bottas, which is going to make us do one lap less and just secure P14 in this race. There we go. Job done. Up to the line. Good race. I enjoyed that. Got the elbows out. Good stuff. Good job.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Right, so here we have the final race results for the Spanish Grand Prix as Valtteri Bottas picks up his first win of the season, and long overdue. He's been very poor so far in the first 4 races, but finally Bottas turns up and picks up the big W ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who actually brought home the extra point for the fastest lap. So Mercedes bringing home a 1-2 finish ahead of Ferrari, who finished 3rd and 4th, with Sebastian Vettel bringing home the final podium spot. Then we've got Pierre Gasly, the only Red Bull that was classified in the top 5, with Magnussen, Raikkonen, Hulkenberg, Norris and Albon running out the top 10, and then Sainz, Kvyat, Stroll, myself, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Perez, Ricciardo and Kubica rounding out the classified 19 runners here today, with Verstappen missing out on the points and missing out on finishing altogether as he retires once again, and he's had a horrible season so far. In terms of the standings, you can see Hamilton leads the way by 27 points over both Ferrari drivers, who are equal on points, and Valtteri Bottas P4 still quite a way off any car, and he needed that win to get his season up to scratch because he's been very poor so far. Gasly P5, Verstappen only 8th place with 16 points to his name. Very poor start to the season from him. And in terms of the second half of the table, we are still P16, and we are the best of the non-point scorers, with Kubica at the bottom of the table, and then Ricciardo, Giovinazzi and Kvyat in between us. In terms of the constructors, we are still yet to score any points as a team yet, and the only team yet to do so. Mercedes will overtake Ferrari at the top of the table and are 11 points clear at the top. But that is it for it here, Spain, guys. And we're now going to move into the laptop, put some upgrades on for the next race at Monaco, and fingers crossed we can do better around there, as that track does come down to driver skill, and I think I can make it happen around there. So let's jump into the laptop. Okay, so here we are then on the laptop, and we have 1,200 points to spend, and we're going to spend those straight away on the aerodynamics. The first one being the upgrade that failed, which will arrive now in the next race at Monaco. And we have 1,000 points to spend, and I'm going to spend 460 of them on this rear downforce upgrade, and that's going to unlock the drag, which is where we need to improve this car, because this car is so draggy. It's absolutely unbelievable. And then we have 449 points left over, and I don't quite have enough to afford any other upgrades. So what we are going to spend it on, if we have enough points for it, is going to be to make sure further upgrades don't fail, is going to be department quality control. Now this one is a bit out of reach. What about the chassis? Is that the same price as well? What about the engine? Can we get the engine one? 500, not quite. So right, never mind. Plan B, we'll save those points and we'll spend them in the next episode. Now, I want to address this real quick. So if we go over to the contract situation, you can see on screen I've had this same thing now for the entire season so far, and I hope to get a different team goal soon, because this is impossible. My team goal is it's the hardest difficulty, which is worth 600 points, but they're asking me to qualify in 14th place or better. That's been the target the entire season so far, and I'm missing out on, achieving an extra 600 points quite frequently because of this stupid team goal. So hopefully, I think Monaco might be my best chance to pull this out of the bag. If I'm on it and I have a special performance, I can pull it out of the bag, that might be my best chance. If we just load the air up and make the car really quick for the corners, I might have a chance of doing it. But if not, then I'm not really sure where I'm going to do that. So hopefully I get a new team goal. It's going to end after the next race anyway, so regardless of what happens, hopefully we can achieve it and get a nice juicy points bonus, because we need that 600 points to really help us out. But guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Career Mode. And if you did enjoy it, then drop a like on the video, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications so don't miss any videos from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.